Stranger Things Season 5 has given us monsters, mysteries, heartbreaking reunions, and the kind of high-stakes danger we always expect from Hawkins. But nothing has puzzled fans more than the cave. Yes, a simple cave, a dark hole in the ground, has become the single greatest fear of Henry Creel, the man who later becomes Vecna, the most terrifying villain the series has ever produced. Let that sink in. This is a character who manipulates minds, breaks bones like twigs, toys with death, commands horrors from another dimension, and literally shaped the Upside Down into what it is. Yet he will not step inside that cave. Why? What is inside? What happened there? And how does this detail connect to the first Shadow, the Stranger Things prequel play that suddenly became canon-level important? Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. Let's unravel every major theory, psychological, supernatural, multiversal, and existential, and understand why Henry Creel, the monster who fears nothing, is terrified of a cave. Henry Creel returns, stronger than ever. 3 years after 11 nearly destroyed Vecna in Season 4, Henry Creel is back, and his presence is more haunting than ever. But instead of instantly appearing as the burnt, monstrous Vecna, Henry spends the first half of Season 5 in a form fans didn't expect. Mr. Whatsit, Holly Wheeler's imaginary friend. This isn't a random disguise. It's part of Henry's elaborate plan to manipulate Holly, gain her trust, and eventually use her in his ritual involving 12 children. But while Holly's physical body is trapped in the Upside Down, her subconscious lives inside Henry's beautifully fabricated memoryscape, a recreated version of his 1950s home. Inside Henry's mind, Holly discovers Max, alive but trapped since Season 4. Max reveals that she has been hiding in a cave, the only place Vecna cannot reach. That sentence alone changes everything. If Vecna created this mindscape, why would there be a place he cannot go? Why would a mind god be afraid of anything? When Vecna approaches the cave entrance, something incredible happens. The moment his arm crosses the threshold, his flesh burns, and his human form begins decaying into his Vecna state. He recoils in fear. This is not caution. This is terror. What could possibly frighten a cosmic-level villain whose power emerged from the Upside Down itself? What exactly is the cave? There are many mysteries in Stranger Things, but this cave stands apart. It isn't just a hiding spot. It feels ancient, primordial, loaded with psychological weight. And fans who watched Stranger Things The First Shadow already know the cave is no ordinary location. In the stage play, we learn a crucial detail. On his 8th birthday, Henry Creel went missing near a military base in Nevada. Hours later, he was found unconscious outside a cave, with absolutely no memory of what happened inside. But here's where it gets wild. That exact cave was later connected to the Upside Down. It is heavily implied that Henry wandered into the cave, encountered something extra-dimensional, and came out changed. Something touched him. Something infected him. Something planted the seed that would later transform him into Vecna. Somewhere deep in that cave system, Henry Creel took his first step toward darkness. If that's true, then the cave is not simply a memory, it's his origin point. And origin points are dangerous because they contain the truth Henry has spent decades burying. The first contact theory. Did the cave give Henry his powers? According to the play, a Russian spy stole experimental technology related to interdimensional travel, something Brenner had been developing, and hid it in this cave. Young Henry found it, touched it, and triggered a short-lived portal. In other words, Henry Creel didn't just stumble into power, he activated something sleeping in the cave. This aligns perfectly with the Mind Flayer's modus operandi. It infects, it influences, it finds vessels. Henry didn't create the Mind Flayer. He became its chosen conductor. That moment inside the cave forged a psychic tether between Henry and the Upside Down, a connection far older than Brenner's experiments. So the cave is not just traumatic, it's symbolic. It represents the moment he lost control, the moment the darkness entered his mind, the point of no return. And Vecna isn't just avoiding the cave, he's avoiding the truth. He wasn't born a god. He was chosen by something else. For a narcissist like Henry, whose entire identity thrives on superiority and destiny, that truth is horrifying. The trauma theory. The cave is his worst memory. Let's talk psychology. Henry Creel sees himself as an apex predator, a superior being who transcended humanity. His hatred for weakness defines him. So imagine the agony of knowing that his powers did not come from brilliance. His transformation wasn't self-made. His greatest moment was actually a victimization. The cave represents the powerless child he once was, the version of Henry he despises most. Going back would mean confronting that child and everything he could have been if he had not entered that cave. Max alludes to this. The cave is not just a hiding spot. It is the last surviving piece of Henry's innocence. Vecna's fear is not physical, it's existential. Inside the cave lies a version of Henry that could destroy the monster he became. The Upside Down connection. Is the cave a gateway? Season 5 reveals something shocking. The Upside Down still contains unexplored regions, including a massive circular living wall discovered by 11, Hopper, and later by Team Hawkins. The wall pulsates, reacts to stimuli, and is made of the same biological material as the Dimension's creatures. Dustin's analysis leads to a terrifying conclusion. The wall is not a barrier, it's a cocoon, a membrane. Something is hidden behind it. And if the wall forms a circle, then logically, something lies inside. Fans now believe that Vecna has sealed his mindscape, including the cave, behind this biological fortress. If true, the cave is not only a memory, it is a sealed gateway to Henry's origin. The Duffer Brothers confirmed this connection. The cave from Season 5 is the same cave from the first Shadow. That wasn't an Easter egg. That was foreshadowing. Whatever lies beyond that wall, Vecna fears it more than death, which raises one final theory. The destruction theory. Can the cave kill Vecna? Let's stitch the evidence together. The cave marks Henry's first encounter with the Upside Down. It may hold the technology or organism that infected him. It burns him when he approaches. It represents a memory he cannot overwrite. It lies behind the circular wall Vecna has fortified. Everything points to one conclusion. The cave holds the only force capable of severing his connection to the Upside Down. Vecna's power is not self-contained. It flows from his link to the Mind Flayer. If the cave houses the original infection, a dormant counterpart to the Mind Flayer, a counter-frequency to his psychic resonance, or Henry's last uncorrupted self, then destroying whatever binds him could unplug him like a corrupted system. Vecna doesn't fear the cave. He fears what it undoes, his entire existence. The meta-connection. The Duffers speak. Matt Duffer confirmed that elements of Henry's past were intentionally held back, not for the play, but for the final season. The first Shadow wasn't optional lore. It was a roadmap. The cave is not a subplot. It is the key. Vecna's downfall will not be brute force. It will be origin-based annihilation. The monster wasn't born in Hawkins' lab. He was born in a cave he should never have entered. And now, that past is coming back. Our nerdy thought. Henry Creel believes he became Vecna out of destiny, superiority, and choice. The cave exposes the truth. He didn't rise. He fell. The Upside Down didn't give him power. It took something from him and never let go. Vecna doesn't fear the cave because it is dangerous. He fears it because it holds the one thing he cannot defeat, the truth of who he really is. And in Stranger Things, truth is always the deadliest weapon. Season 5 has opened the door. Now the question is, will the cave finally put an end to Vecna? Or is the boy who entered it long gone? Either way, one thing is certain. Whatever is waiting inside that cave, it's not done with Henry Creel. Not yet.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.